Hello, everyone. So you started off our lesson today thinking about what do we know about Jamestown so far and typing your thoughts in the box below. So thinking back to what we've already learned about Jamestown last week and what we learned about yesterday. What do we know so far about Jamestown? Then we reviewed the driving question. How can we as historians explore why so many settlers died at Jamestown? So now we are going to take a look at our first two documents that are going to help us answer that question. Document A, Jamestown Environment. The source of this document is Dennis B. Blanton, Jamestown's Environment, Center for Archaeological Research, College of William and Mary, Williamsburg, Virginia, 2000. Many people have commented over the last 4 centuries on the qualities of Jamestown's environment. Because the adjacent river and creeks became brackish as water levels rose, reliable sources of fresh water would have been scarce by the 17th century. English colonists dug shallow wells to supply themselves with sources of drinking water, but these were vulnerable to drought and saltwater intrusion. Also, historian Carville V. Earle attributed disease in the early years to Jamestown's position at the salt freshwater transition, where filth introduced into the river tended to fester rather than flush away. The island is not situated at a point of great natural food abundance, especially relative to other locations very close by. Fish are present in local streams, but only in the spring and early summer are they there in impressive abundance. Okay, so some pretty big words in that document, but we're going to break it down a little bit later thinking about these questions. So you're not going to answer these questions right now. We're just going to take a look and start thinking about them. So in the document, it mentions brackish water. What is that? In the second paragraph, what does Carville V. Earle say would happen to the filth, human waste, that got dumped into the river? What happens twice a day on the ocean that would cause water levels around Jamestown to rise? It caused wells and freshwater streams to become brackish. What inference or guess can you make about the effect of tides on health in Jamestown? Read the last sentence. What time of year do you think starvation would happen? Okay, so that is our first document, kind of like our first clue in answering our driving questions. Why did so many settlers die at Jamestown? And this is our second document, document B, a rainfall chart. The source is adapted from the Lost Colony and Jamestown Droughts from Science, April 24th, 1998. So rainfall index, we have -4, 0, and 4. 1560, 1600, and 1640, the years are down here. And then Jamestown drought. So take a look at this chart. Be thinking about what it might mean. Let's read the note at the bottom. This study determined rainfall amounts by examining tree ring patterns in old cypress trees growing near Jamestown. Every year leaves a growth ring inside the trunk of a tree. A wider ring indicates plenty of rainfall and good growth. A narrow ring usually means less rain. 0 on the chart means average tree ring size and therefore average rainfall. So 0 right here in the middle is the average. So you can see some goes above, some goes under. Let's take a look at these questions. Again, these are just to get you thinking about the document. We're not going to answer these right now. What does 0 on the chart mean? When the rainfall falls below 0, do you think there was more or less rain? Jamestown was settled in 1607 through 1611. Look at 1610 on the chart. Was there more or less average rainfall that year? Was it a lot or a little? In the winter of 1609 through 1610, Jamestown experienced what the settlers called the starving time. Because of the drought, why do you think so many settlers were starving that winter? How might settlers' relationship with Powhatans change as they were starving and got more desperate? Okay, so if you'd like to go back and take a look at those documents after watching this video, you may. They're right here. And then the next slide says, based on these two documents, what do you notice and what do you wonder? So you're going to click in this box and type in something that you notice from these two documents and something that you wonder. And then you will move on to reading part 2.